Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Angela, the Traveling Crafter. And if you were wondering what I am up to today, and the thumbnail didn't give it away, it is my installment of the collaboration called Cooking Up a Journal. And it is hosted by our friends Jovi at Creating with Jovi and Sierra at Coulee Craft Corner. And each day, a talented artist is going to hop on and use the kit created by Jovi, which is on her Etsy shop. The link is in the description to get this very kit. And each person is taking a moment to create something lovely and showcase the digital. So I hope you follow along. All of the list of every single creator will be in the description as well. And if that's not all, or that's not enough, I guess I should say, Jovi is also providing some freebies. Now, to get those freebies, you need to go to my description box, and you can join Jovi's Facebook group, which is called Creating with Jovi Journals and Crafts, and you will find the freebie for the extension or accessories or additions to this kit free of charge to you after joining. So check that out as well. Now, I've already started cutting this up. I already started making some things. So you're not going to probably see the full kit flip through right here, but definitely check out Jovi and Sierra or any of the other talented creators, and you will catch those in different arrays of creativity throughout the month of February. So what do I have today? Well, in addition, I tried very hard to not use a lot of additional items that weren't part of the kit. Now, yes, I used some of them, and some tools and some embellishments, but not many. But one of the things that I am using to tuck into things, these are on the Makers Market, district.net/Makers Market. The link's in the description. And I sell these handwritten vintage recipes. And so I am using some of those in there. But other than that, and a few little ribbons and such, we're sticking to what we got right here. So let me show you what's left of the kit that I printed out. And then I'll show you what we're making and what we're going to use to do that. So we got, and I think I just have a couple of the solids. So she's got some pages, that can be folded in half just as a normal journal page if you like to make traditional journals. What I decided, and you will see some of the creators are creating journals from this kit. I am not, and let me explain to you why. I'm going to flip while I talk. I do a lot of cookbook journals, a lot of homemaking, cookbook, farm journals. And so one thing I am always in need of is more ephemera. So I decided I was going to create some things, and I also do a lot of binder journals. So I decided I was just going to create some embellishments, some ephemera, pockets, tucks, tags, whatever we decide to do, instead of making an entire journal. So now I see I've already cut into these. I've cut out a lot of the little pieces. Oh, I did add this to maybe use later. So she's got little tags, a little loaf of bread. You'll see that I've already used some of these things. But we might use these to embellish as well. Okay, what are we going to create? Let me move these aside so it's out of our way. We're going to do something with this in just 2 seconds. That's going to be our first thing that we're going to do. But we are going to create, one of the things, Demi has a cookbook, and she, that she puts recipes in. She also has a recipe box. And the one thing that she complains about, and she created some of her own recipe cards, was that there's never enough room. Well, both she and I write very large, and so I get it. So what I decided to do, so that I could use this, whether it be for somebody to just journal their thoughts or to write a recipe, is just turning part of Jovi's digital into a fold out where you could write your recipe, you could finish it here, you could tuck in more recipes, and maybe this is just some appetizer ideas or whatnot. So we're going to make one of those. None of the things that we make today are going to be really that difficult, I promise you. This was really fun. This is, let me see. This, no. What was on the inside of it? Oh, I think I kept it. I'm not sure. So I cut out the center of this. This one, I believe, was inside of there. There you go. So similar to what I did here, I cut out the center on this one. I used just a regular craft cardstock card. I backed the inside of it with her paper. This is the one of her digitals. Put the little label on here. Then I sewed around it. I sewed this part before I glued it together. So it is now a pocket. And it's just a cute little pocket. I can either, if it's a binder journal, I can just, pop the holes in it and put it in as a binder page with journaling space. If I wanted to put it in as a big pocket, I could do that as well. And then I just put one of the peach index cards. This is one of those from the kit that the little bundles that I have on the Maker's Market. And then this little lemon card. So I just popped those in there. I didn't put them all the way down in there or put something bigger in, just so that I could show you what it looked like at the bottom. So that one we're going to make. That will be fun. And then the next thing that we're going to make is just this really simple, there's more of those recipes, tag. And we're going to then make this. Now, this is something I had in my stash, and I thought it just looked really awesome with that. I used a piece of scrap paper, and created this with her her pieces. If we have time, I'll show you. I was starting to decorate this little ticket strip with some of her things, but if we have time, I'll just show you, and we have a leftover piece of cardstock. I'll show you how I make these. They're really, I've shown you how to do these before, but I'll show you again. And like I said, I didn't finish it. I just had started it. So I still have those two places that we could maybe decorate if we have time as well. And then lastly, the one thing that we're not going to create, but I wanted to show you, that I cut out were two of her fussy cut die cuts. And then I just grabbed one of my little dangles, this one with cherries, and popped that on there. And then this one, this was just all white. And so I just used a little of this glitter, I think from Demi and her friends from Homecoming. And then I just added this little strawberry dangle on it. And I think that's so sweet. And it will go so cute. Both of these will go so cute in a journal. We won't make these today because it's pretty easy. Cut it out, put some glitter on it, add a dangle. I think you can handle that. But we are going to enhance this little cutie. And I'm just going to do it with some Fabri-Tac. And I think it would be fun just to do a little bit on the top, just to add some fun. And I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're just going to say, we're just going to go and add some glitter willy-nilly all over, and then just set it aside to dry. The nice part about using the Fabri-Tac is it dries pretty fast, and I do have my heater on today, so I don't know. I just thought that this pink, it looked at first when I put it on there, I was like, oh, it's a little bit overwhelming, but once it dried, I thought on that spoon it looked really cute. So just a little something to add a little blingity-bling to this little piece that she made. Let's close that up. We're going to open this. And we're just going to shakey shake. And hopefully I didn't get it too thick on there. So some of the things, yeah, I think it'll be fine. I wanted it so like this is empty there. You know what I mean? There we go. It's done. We'll put you aside over here so you can marinate. There we go. We'll use cooking words. Oh, I might have I might have made a mess of that, but that's okay. All right, glitter is all gone. There's always a risk. Oh, I wanted to do something else with this. Hold, please. I had this little piece of baker's twine, and I think it needs to go on here. Probably should wait until it's dry, but I'm not going to. We got a video to do, friends. So I hope that you're having a great day. Let me know in the comments what you think of the of the kit. If you have questions, you know, if I haven't mentioned it before, that I love your comments. And once a month or once every couple of months, I will be doing answering questions either in a live or on one of my videos. So I would love to hear from you, or just shouting you out with hello. So be sure to leave a comment if you haven't already. And I'll probably, once that's all ready, I might glue these down just to tack them on. Maybe not, I don't know, but that's cute. All right, it's done. All right, the other thing is, if you like things that are vintage, antique, and new, whether they're crafting related to paper or whether they're crafting related to something else, quilting, woodworking, whatever it might be, check out the Maker's Market, and you will find live videos from Carol and I and Sandy and a lot of guests that come on our channel. So most of the things, when you see things like this, you know, I think most creators do a good job of saying where you can get them. So it's awesome that Joby's got this on her Etsy shop and has added the freebies. And likewise, you know, just subscribe and definitely hop over to the Maker's Market and follow along. Okay, what are we making first? We are making this first. Did I grab a piece of... Yes, I did. All right. So all I did on this is I just cut out this. And to do that, oh, I did use my handy dandy knife. So I just freehanded it. And I know I'm taking this down here a little bit, but that's because it's on the rubber mat and it's as far as I can get that to move. So I'm just going to follow along that line. I'm going to turn it. And all I'm doing is just cutting out the recipe part of this. And then we may use this piece that I've got for the second project, because I really like the design on the outside of this one a lot. We'll see what we can do. Actually, we could probably make 2 of them with that, but we'll only have time to make 1 today. All right, so I've cut this out. I mean, you can't get much easier than this, but just look how cute this would be as a whole page and do, I mean, you could even fold it in half. We could even fold it in half and use the acetate and make it into like just a shaker, which would be adorable too. But for today, we're going to simply give this just a little bit of, we're going to do it on this end, a little bit of a border, and we're going to glue it down. Now, one thing I won't be doing on camera, you know that my sewing machine is on the other side of the room in my craft closet, and I don't have really a good setup. So it wouldn't even be worth it for me to sew in front of you because you wouldn't be able to see much. So I will, if I decide to sew anything, I will do that after we're all done here. All right. So now I'm just going to glue that down. I forgot I had this rubber band on my hand. We'll take that off. Now, what I'm going to do is just trim this about the same amount on this side. Just a smidgy. You know how much that is? It's a smidgy. Now we've got this, and maybe I'll just take a time out after we do finish this one up and actually show you how to make those tickets real quick like a bunny. All right. Now, for me, I'm just going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to use the channel or the ditch in my, what do we got on there? Something, ink of some sort. Well, that's interesting. Just to make a score line on it, just to make it easier. And if you can see, I came just a little bit farther from where this was. So when I fold it, it folds nicely and we're all good. All right, now at this point, if you wanted, you could cut this part off and it would just be a little folder. You could make it into a pocket. You could make it into an envelope if you wanted. Possibilities are endless. If you also wanted, just to make it easier to fold it, you could just follow along this line and do that. If you wanted to make it as a envelope, you could do another one here. I'm not going to do that, but you can make another little embossed, you can make another little score line and then fold it so it would close up and you can make a little attachment. We're not going to do that. We're just going to fold this over on that score line. I'm going to take my circle punch. I'm not doing really much, if any, distressing today. I might on a couple things, but it's doubtful. And we're just going to glue this down so we have an extra little pocket. Now, for people like Demi and I who write huge, we've got more room to write. That big old recipe that we want everybody to remember. And we also have room to stick other extra little things. Now, what I think I'll do now, I did this one, I added it at the last minute after I sewed. And I did not want to sew back over that again because I liked how it looked. But we're going to add one of these to it. And, you know, I really want to add pasta because it's one of my favorite things. But, let's see. There's nothing really that commits us to anything special on this one. You know what? I think I had one already cut out. Let's see what it said. Was it appetizers, maybe? Come to mama. I know it's there. Well, shoot. You know I'm going to find it as soon as I'm done. Okay, well, let's just go by one by one. Now, what I'm not going... I will probably stick these in just so you can see them, but these are on regular cardstock, so I would need to back them before I make it all pretty. Oh, she gone. All right, we'll pick another one. Which one do we want? We want to pick the first one. Whoa. So we'll just pick vegetables. One of my other favorite things. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is fold this in half and glue it because, again, when I printed these, I've learned, and I mean, everybody has a personal preference. You do you. But what I have learned is that I used to a lot of times just print like my ephemera right on cardstock, but then half the time when I would use it, I didn't need it on cardstock. And it was more versatile if I just used it. And then if I did need it on cardstock, I would back it on cardstock. So because this is thinner, man, I messed that up. Now this I probably will distress. So I just print mine all on expensive and high quality printer paper. Just matte presentation paper or photo paper. All right, now this will be ready for me to just sew all the way around it. And I will be good to go. Now, just as a thought, as an aside, one thing you could do with this very simple project, if you wanted to, is this could be a mini journal. These two pieces can be your cover. Okay, so maybe you do 3 of these and you put your, you know, your tabs across all of here. Imagine that, right? And let's just say you did, well, you could do 4 or so. So you do 4 of these, just like I just did. And then inside of each one of them, you fill it with pages and sew in your signature or however you want to bind your signature. And now you either have something that you can put in to make a bigger cover with maybe one of her other, like you could, let's see if there's one that, well, you could cut, I mean, you could even back those together with some cardstock in between, because like I said, mine's just on paper. You could make a fabric cover for heavier cover, but now you could have up to 4 or 5 signatures with a nice heavy piece on the outside and then create your journal. So for this one, we're just going to use these inside of a journal. So number 1 project is done. Done. And then I would put one of my little recipes in here. Let's find one. Here's one. And then I would back a couple of these, which I'll do later. And they both fit in there nicely like that. And I can just fill it up with all kinds of things. There you go. First project done. Boom. All right, let's bring this up. Let's put you over there, girls. And, oh, but before we do that, this is what we're going to make next. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how to quickly make this ticket. Okay, so let's see how much we got here. I'm going to make this easy because I don't want to belabor it or confuse you, because there's no reason to do that. But you can use your, if you have a embossing, oh my goodness. If you have something that you can score, and you have a scoring tool and a scoreboard, or you have something like my trimmer, you can use that. I am going to use, I'm going to use this to actually make perforation in it. This was something I got in a craft thingy. All right, so it's 11 inches. If I do, let's just say, so we're going to make this because, and I'll explain to you why. We're going to make each one of these tickets, and they're fat. I know that. They're each 3 inches apart. So I'm leaving this for my top because what I've done in the past is I've just used a 12-inch piece, and then I'll leave a little tab on. You've seen me make these before, but I just leave a tab on the end. And then if you want, you can punch a hole in them. You can hang them. Like I hang them on little book rings. And then I have them already there, and I can just tear one off as I wish. So that 2 inches gives me 9 inches left, which I can easily do the math on that and separate them by 3-inch pieces, okay? So basically what I'm doing is I just perforated that. So when I'm ready to tear it off, there's the perforations. Make sense? Very easy. So that's what it looks like. Now, all you're going to do the rest of it, I did finally take off the lid to this. You're just going to fold it in half, and that's going to be your, I didn't do it quite big enough. There we go. And you're going to make those holes like that. So you have the inside of it. There we go. So we've got those. Now, because this one's so big, I'm going to use a bigger circle punch to make the corners. All you're going to do is take your punch and you're going to, let me see. Let's see if you can see this better if I do it this way. You're going to put it in so that just a corner of it is sticking out. And you're going to punch it. And you're going to do that all the way around. And you're going to, well, let's just do the corners first. There you go. So you've got your corners. But now you need corners here. So all you're going to do is go right at that perforation for each one and give it a little notch. And that's as easy as it gets. I mean, how much simpler can it be, right? And I can make these. This is one of those things that I can sit by the TV and I just create a whole bunch of them. And I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. But what I will do is I will punch another hole. Where's my short end? Right here. And I'll just punch a hole here. And then I'll put a reinforcer on it. And then I'll just hang this from a book ring. So after I've decorated it all, I'll just do that and then I can just pull one off and real easily. Or you could give them as a gift. I mean, this one's kind of long, but you could make one shorter and you're all ready. But that's how I made the base for the little ticket project that I just did. So there's an extra bonus for you. All right, moving on. We're going to create the cute little pocket. It, again, is super, super easy. And I really, okay, I'm going to show you how I did it. How did I do that? Oh, I used just a piece of, not that, that's crooked. What did I use? I think I used a piece of cardstock. Here, I used, there we go. So what I did is I just, let's just pull this apart. It'll make it easier. I just went like this. I mean, we could just do it. Let's do this. Let's just go right to here. Let's do this instead. Because I can leave this recipe. I kind of like that on this one. That one, other one didn't have it. So all we're going to do is cut from here to here. And I'm just eyeballing this. This is not, oop, I shouldn't have done that on this mat. I try to get the most out of these mats as possible. And I'm going to, these are just Dollar Tree mats. These were gifted to me from Carrie the Paper Monkey, but I don't like to cut on them because this is really what I use to glue on so that I don't have to have a glue book. Now, this might not be perfectly straight. That doesn't matter. We're not worried about that today. I just want to make it so there's not too much white on the sides, which we can always rectify that by cutting a knot. Okay. See, I didn't get it quite all the way in this corner. So you're just going to cut what you don't want out. Save this because we may need it again, right? We could use it for something else. So put that in our scraps. And now what I see that I need to do here is cut all of the edge. Because when I printed these, I forgot to print them with no border. Which, I mean, it still looks cute that way, but I just forgot. Now, because I want to use this craft cardstock, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to save this for later to make into a shaker. Because I'll need to get some bigger pieces. Do I, or do I not? It's going to be awful big. Well, here, I know. We'll just take off this top. We'll take off the coffee beans. And then that won't be quite so big. I may have to get a different piece of paper, though. All right, we'll keep that. All right, what we're going to do is we're just going to use this other piece to back whatever our base is going to be, okay? Now, what made this really easy when I used the card is I put that smaller piece right on here where it, and maybe we can make this work. Can we? Okay, let me see where this ends. We can do it. That's not totally straight there. All right, we're going to do it. Now, here's the thing. What we need to make sure we're doing is making this, both the front and the back, sturdy. Because it's going to be a pocket, if I didn't back this layer with something besides just the acetate, it's going to get caught on there, and it's not going to go through this, or, you know, you're not going to be able to tuck things through here, into here, easily for a long time. You know, the more you pull things in and out, it's going to get compromised. So that's why I wanted to use this. Now, I think we can make it work. So here's what I'm going to do. And remember, I'm sewing around this too, so it's no worries, right? But it's easy if you just have a piece of paper folded in half that you can work this out on. And all I want to do is just make sure that it's on here good enough that it's not going to get, you know, come off, and then I can take it and sew it later. All right, but I do want to make sure I line this up so I'm not putting it down too much until I know. All right, we're good. I'm just going to press it down. And I'm just going to cut around this. And just like this. Now, I do have some extra on this side, so I might have to... I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So I'm cutting off all the excess because I just want this to fit on here. Now, I have this extra that I need to cut off here too. And I don't think that's going to be any big deal because, why? Well, I'm going to be sewing around it. All right, so then I'll probably put maybe some blue thread in and sew around it. Okay, now we got to cut this out. The easiest way to do that, you just go like that. And what I often do is just take my knife and go from one corner to the other, and from one corner to the next diagonally. And you'll see that it just pops that up like that. And then you can either use your scissors, or you can just go along this. If you have a steady hand, just go along it like that. And it all comes up. And you could have just done that to begin with. But a lot of times, I just have my scissors. I guess this mat's going bye-bye. And I don't have one of these always available to me, so unless I'm in my craft room and not on the road. Well, you know I have one for on the road, but I don't always have it out and about. See? So the other thing that you would do if you were... We better save these. We could probably use these in something else, huh? They make cute corners. All right, we're almost there. So now we have this piece we can also make a little journal card with. And I just like how this coordinates, this argyle. So what we're going to do, and I am going to, I know I don't have to, but I am going to cover the whole back of this card with that, because then I don't have to worry. like up here when it's tucked in, I want to make sure that I'm not going to be sewing anything here. So I want to make sure this adheres really well. No one's going to see it, but we just want to make sure that that looks good. Now we are going to sew around all the other 3 edges. So we don't need as much glue. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense today. I hope I am. So, if you aren't aware, yesterday, the artist that had a video is Kawaii Memo Love. So, she was before me, and tomorrow I believe Joby is back. And I believe she's doing maybe a Friday live. I think she said on her Fridays she was going to do live and work on the cookbooks. So, Joby, if I'm wrong, please let us know in the comments. But otherwise, just hop onto her channel, because she usually does a live video on Friday. All right, that looks pretty good, right? One last step. We got to put a piece of acetate in there. I don't know what this is from. Couldn't tell you. But I save it all. Oh, no way. Could this be that? And again, I don't need to waste all... I mean, I could choose to save the rest. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put a couple... And, well, I should say, don't glue your acetate to this piece. You're going to glue your acetate to this. Okay, now, like I said, how much am I really going to save by, I've got plenty of acetate. I think I can just slap the whole thing on there. Again, nobody's going to see this, so it doesn't really matter, but what I am going to do is make sure the top is even and that it can fold okay, and then I'll worry about whether I have to trim anywhere else. And it looks like I have just a smidgy that needs to be trimmed. I'm going to hold this really I'm going to hold it with a heavy hand so that the acetate doesn't move, because remember, I just glued this. There we go. Now it is all ready to roll. So all I'm going to do is now glue, just to hold it, like a few little spots here and here. I was just thinking, I'm just going to give it just such a light. And the one thing you want to make sure of when you're doing something like this and it has acetate in it, you'll see I backstitched both here and here, so this stays really nice and strong. And then I'm going to go to my sewing machine later after we are done here, and I'm going to sew that bad boy up, and our pocket will then be done. Super cute. Love these colors. I'm an orange kind of girl, so you know. Now, like I said, there's so many things we can do with this. We're not going to do them today, but we could. We could choose to back this with something and make it into another recipe card. We could literally fold this like this and do just a shaker, a huge, ginormous shaker, which would be super cute. And I might do that. But you know what? Here, let's do this. Just so we can fold it so we can see what it looks like. I should probably pay attention to how long I'm taking here, shouldn't I? Oh, well. You think I can do this and get it straight? No. But we'll give it the old college try. Yeah, I can already tell it's not straight. All right, let's do this first. We'll just go edge to edge here. I'm going to have to trim off. Okay. Okay. We'll just go to there. That's even. Go to here. I think that's even. Now, this is the tricky part. And that baby piece even. See? And the other thing is, my cutting wasn't straight, so it's not going to be perfect. Come on. Cooperate. I just want you guys to get a visual. I can see, and I can fix all of my horrible cutting. Is it even? Is it even? What the heck? We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it to it. If you don't mind that I take as long as I am, then I'm not going to mind either. Let's see. I do want to make sure, though, before I cut this. Here's my thing. I want to make sure that I get... Let's just cut this off separate. Again, you probably, if you print your digitals with no border, you won't have the problem I just had. But, and because the cutting of my center was not perfectly straight, I don't want to fold it in half and cut it like that, because I'll just continue to create more problems for myself. But hey. And yes, I could have used my trimmer, but that just seems like more work to get it over here and do that. Let me just take more time and do it this way. So this might help. It might help, it might not. But I just want you guys to get an idea. I mean, one of the things that I love to challenge myself with, and you guys who have been around a while and have been watching me, you know, I love to create a challenge where, okay, let's use every piece of something. You know, my smash a stack that I've done, where we use a whole paper pad, using an entire digital kit, you know, all of those things. I just love doing that. And so this is no exception. Now, I'll need to get a piece in between it, because it's not heavy enough yet, and then trim this out. But I'm not going to do that now, but I just wanted you to imagine. Now we put acetate in this entire thing. We trim it up and make it look pretty, trim up that side, and then we add that piece and the acetate, and then fill it with little cooking funsies. Now we have something more. Right, it'd be fun. All right, last but not least, we're going to create this, which is this last but not least? I think it is. All I did is this was one of my favorites of the digital kit. So I took half of it and used that on one side. I just put 2 pieces back to back. It's now heavy enough. It's good. So I can still write a recipe on the back of it, and it's all good to go. That's all I did. Now, to make my top to look like this one, here's what I did. And I know that some of you have these punches that do like tags, and it gives you the amount of space, you know, like 3 inches, 2 inches. I don't know what, this one doesn't have it on there. But anyway, don't limit yourself to just those sizes, because what you can do, and you got to, you know, you kind of got to look, and we're going to lose a little bit of our word breakfast. But here's what you do. You take your piece of paper, no matter how big it is, and you put it in. Upside down, you're looking at it. Upside down, you're turning me inside out. Okay? Then you're just eyeballing about the middle of your paper. So basically make sure you got about the same amount on either side. Okay? And once you have that down, punch. And then it all comes flying towards you. And here's what it looks like after. Now, all you're going to do is just take your scissors and make sure the tip is at the very end there, so it keeps it straight. And, ooh, that's hard to see. We'll do it this way. And then you're going to do the same thing here. And you've just created a jumbo tag. Now I'm going to round the corners. Whoops, my Tic Tacs just fell. Somebody else like Tic Tacs? I love them. And I will be sewing around this as well. So I probably do not want to... Things are falling everywhere. I probably don't want to add a lot of embellishments or the tag topper. But I would go ahead, sew around it, add my ribbons or whatever I chose at the top, and that's done, right? And then we're just going to make the pocket. Again, this was a scrap. Well, we have this too. We can probably make something with that. And all we're going to do is put a punch in here and call it good. That's what we're doing. And this stuff is older than the hills. I looked at it and I was like, oh, it looks like it has like some water damage on the back when I was gluing it together. I have no idea where it came from. Probably one of my thrift hauls. But I love it. And there's not a piece of gingham or polka dot that I don't love. So you see a lot. I just went through all of my, I'm going to make this a little bit higher up here so we got a little bit of that down at the bottom. And we're just popping that on there, and that's, I'll sew around. Oh, last time I sewed around this before I put it on, but for the sake of this, we're going to do that. Now, I feel like it would be fun. We got some more. Let's cut this down. I'm thinking we could do a belly band on here. You know, I'm all about adding more stuff to it. And maybe we just enhance this by slapping it on here. That's what we're doing. I should really look and see how much time we've been going. Now, why would I do that? And then we'll cut around that. I'm going to freehand it. Oh, we're not doing so bad whatsoever. All right. This is probably not going to be straight. But for the sake of time, I'm doing it this way. All right, now we're going to put it on here. We're going to simply make this rounded. And I'm not going to put anything on it right now, but so we get the gist of how everything will look when it's in there. And why not add another one of those? And heck, we'll just stick this whole bundle in here just for the funs of it. I shouldn't have done that before I decide what I'm doing here. But I want to put a couple little brads. I think we'll put 4 little brads on here. And I've been using these little glittery ones because they're tiny and they're handy. And this is just I just have one. I've got tons of brads, but I just, I condensed a bunch of things, and I've got all these antique ones, which are really cool, but I think they're just too big for what we're doing. So we're just going to use these little ones. And all I'm going to do is just in the very corner here of the white part, I'm just going to use my pokey tool. Now, this is my industrial pokey tool. I have pretty pokey tools, one that I made and one that Carrie the Paper Monkey made for me. But I kind of just like to look at those. And then we're going to put in, I think we're going to put the green in just to give it a little, oh, maybe yellow. Just a little added oomph. And see, they're just the right size. And they're in this little foam piece, so they all stay together. The rest of them, I like to dig through them, but we don't have time for that today. And, you know, you can just design and add whatever your little heart desires. But I want to thank Jovi and Sierra. And if you have not followed Sierra as Coulee Craft Corner, please make sure you go over and follow her too. If you don't know, and you haven't been to our live sales, oftentimes Carol will sell. One of the things that Sierra does best is curates wonderful vintage and new fabrics, and for whether you're a quilter or a art, you know, a journal maker or whatever kind of craft you do, you got to check out her her fabrics, both at our live sales and on the Makers Market, because she's got some beautiful, beautiful stuff. We love and adore her, and she also has 5 babies, and she's going to college, going back to school. So, mama power. I'm telling you. There we go. Pretty simple. Do I have a word from her kit that we can add? So, you know, as you can see, I could be doing this all day. All dang day. But I'm sure you don't want to sit here and listen to it. How about this one that says menu? Let's see. I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to see if I can find a scrappy poo that matches. Because I think that blends too much. So it needs a little bit of background. Ooh. Look at that. That's not really the look we're going for. Here's a red one. But cute. Ooh, my light just got brighter and then not. So I've had a lot of fun working on this, and I really appreciate the two of them trusting me to represent them by creating this project or projects today. So I hope you give them a go. I always say, you know, I try to make things as simple as possible. I know sometimes things look really difficult, and the fact is, most of them aren't. But if there's things that you need answers on, or if you have questions, that's what I'm here for. Ask me, please. Or if there's something new you'd like to see, ask that too. And one of the best places for even more fun is on the Makers Market. And don't think of it as just a selling platform. Well, you can sell your goods or buy things if you want. But it's really a one-stop shop. We don't have to go to any other platform. I don't have to have a bunch of additional social media things that I need to manage on a day-to-day basis. We can go to the Makers Market and all collaborate and have fun together. So, it's a fantastic place to be, and it's great to be able to show your work. And if you grab one of the kits, please, and you decide to make some things, I would love it if you if you go to the Makers Market and go to the show and tell and post what you made. Tag Sierra. She is over there. Jovi, I'm not sure if you're on the Makers Market or not, and I apologize sincerely if you are and I missed you, but definitely I know Sierra is there. She's a seller and a huge contributor on the Makers Market, and she would love to see your work as well. So I hope you give these a go. We created a lot in a little under an hour, so let me know what you think, and I will talk to you next time. Until then, remember to take time to just be friends. I appreciate y'all, and hop over to everybody's channel. Check out what they're working on. All of that information is in the description. Cheers.